Hi everyone, I'm over here. I am just going to show you the walkthrough on how to plug in MailChimp and Shopify. And I'm not a Shopify expert or a MailChimp expert. I've just done it a lot. And so I'm just going to show you to try and make it easier for you. And I say and so and whatever. Anyway, we'll get over that. So let's get started. I'm going to make my the video of me even smaller so that you can see my desktop, and I'm going to walk you through it. Shopify and MailChimp are super easy. What you're going to do is you're going to load up your Shopify store. You go to shopify.com, you put your email address in that you're using for your business or your Shopify store, and then it'll ask you for the website. And that's how easy it is to plug into Shopify. Once you get into Shopify, it's going to look something like this right here. And then you're going to go over on the left-hand panel and scroll down to where you get to apps. And you're going to click apps. They make it super friendly. These are just ones that are theirs. That they promote. Don't worry about that. Top right, visit Shopify App Store. Click that. And Shopify's just recently done some changes. It's super cool because they've placed everything into nice little categories or collections. So after you get your MailChimp and everything loaded, you can come back here and look at their collections. So these are things that you might need help with: launching your store, growing your business, sales channels, apps made by Shopify. Categories, if you're trying to find products, these are apps that help you find products. Places to sell, these are apps that help you sell. Store design, that's how they've classified everything, which is super cool. But right here in the search bar, I'm going to just put MailChimp. And what's going to pop up is lots of MailChimp type stuff. The one you're going to want, you can use MailChimp Forms by MailMunch. That's what I use on my retail store. But MailChimp is your email, what you're wanting to build your email list in if you're going to use MailChimp. So it's the second one. So we click that. And then we're going to click Add App. And MailChimp is going to make it so simple for us. And so it's asking you, you're about to install MailChimp for Shopify. And so it's going to talk to each other. That's what it's showing you right here. These are the details that it's going to take and view the Shopify account data. That's what the MailChimp is going to be able to do. So it's giving you this list. And so you're going to click Install App. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And then it's going to ask, do you want to connect to an existing account? So if you have a MailChimp account already, you can connect that here. If you do not have a MailChimp account, you connect here. And so I'm going to do create a new account because a lot of you will not have that already. And then it's already going to populate the information based upon your Shopify account. So it's saying it's going to use hello, right here, your email. This is going to be the username, National Mediation Center 46616. So I'm going to take this little screenshot just so that I have it because that's going to be my username. So I'm going to copy that. But I'm going to edit this just for my sake because I've done this a few times. So I want to show you how it looks for a real person. So I'm going to put in a new email. And I'm going to put in here my username as National Mediation Center org. Okay, so that's just for my account because I've done this so many times in this Shopify store. But yours will automatically populate like I showed you. So yours will automatically populate like this. I just edited mine. And then I'm going to go in. So now my username is this. It's going to give me a password, and I'm going to have to make a new password. So you just click Create MailChimp Account. Oh, it's saying I cannot use that name. Okay, so National Mediation Center 123. Okay, so that's going to be my username. Hopefully nobody's using that. And update. Okay, and then we're going to go here and, like before, create MailChimp account. And it's that easy, super easy. That's how you create and connect your Shopify with your MailChimp. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to create a pop-up form in MailChimp, and that's where it's taken me right here, but I'm still sitting in Shopify right now. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and it says pop-up form, and over here on the right, it says create in MailChimp. So we're going to create that in MailChimp. Now remember I said that it's going to ask me for a password, so it's going to send me a password. So I'm going to create in MailChimp, but I'm going to have to go over here and find my, here's my login, if we remember that. I've got to go over here to my, my account, because it's now sent me, it sent me a password or to change my password. I'm gonna get out of there. We're just gonna get out of this stuff because that's just popping up in my Gmail. And I use G Suite. So here it is. Here's that email that I was talking about. So it's asking me to reset that password. So we're going to click to reset that password. And I'm going to create a new password. And these blue will turn to green, I think green check marks after I put in a new password. And as long as I'm using all the elements of a capital, a letter, a symbol, that kind of thing. So let me just go ahead and make one up. So it's saying it's ready to go. So reset new password. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay, and then it's asking if you want to save that, and I'm not going to save it right now, but it's saying that we can return to login. So my password was that National Mediation Center 123, and now I'm going to put in my new password that I just changed. And I'm going to log in. There it is. Now the thing that you'll need to double check is every campaign, everything that you run, every email that you run, you need to have it connect to a list, because when you're collecting in that pop-up form that we're going to make, when you collect there, or when you create an email campaign, what you need to do is it needs to collect to a list. So first thing that we want to do is we want to look at our, right here, it's going to take me to pop-up form. So before we check our list, this pop-up form, we need to confirm the site. So it's taking me to this site. So it's saying it's going to connect to that site. Okay, so, and then what we need to do is accept additional terms up here at the top, accept those so that we can create our pop-up form. And all is well there. So now let's go check our list in the top left and to make sure that we have a list plugged in. And it automatically created a list for us. So now everything that goes through on that pop-up form that we're going to create will drop into your list. This will be your main list. Now you can create new lists over here on the right. You can create different lists for different things. If you have a different account and you want to drop everything into this MailChimp account, you can create a new list that way and connect it that way. But you already have a list because it's been created for you in MailChimp. So let's go back over here, and we were going to create our pop-up form. Remember, we clicked through. I'm going to start it over here. So if we are here in Shopify, we went and we made sure that we got our new password, everything is set. Now we're going to come here, pop-up form, create that in MailChimp. Anytime you want to get back to this page, then all you have to do is go to apps in your dashboard or in your Shopify and click on MailChimp. It's going to take you right to this page and you're there. So pop-up form on the bottom, click the blue button, create in MailChimp. We're going to create that in MailChimp. And here we are. So here's our pop-up form. It's the second one. And we're going to click on the right-hand side, add. So we're going to add a pop-up form. Tick tock. So 98% of my users are on mobile. And this is what it looks like when you're going to create that. But 96%, or excuse me, 98% of my users are on mobile, and maybe yours too. You can tell that by looking at your Instagram analytics, your Facebook analytics, and your Shopify analytics. You'll be able to tell over time. But for the most part, and I've worked across several businesses, for the most part, it seems like everybody's coming through mobile. So the wonderful thing about this is it gives you an opportunity to view both. Here's the desktop view, and if you just click the button that says mobile, it's going to give you the mobile view. So that way you can make changes and see how that looks. So you're going to add a photo. I can add a photo and I'll be able to change it later. Let me move this over here. Okay, so over here on the right-hand side are your design, fields, and content. These are the three things that you're going to use to program everything that's going to show up on a desktop, on your pop-up, or on the mobile. So here is our header. We'll be able to change this later if we don't like it. We're going to upload a file. So I'm just going to go to something that's on my page or on my computer. So if I'm doing, okay, so this is National Mediation Center. So I'm going to look at some images for that. And I didn't pre-plan this, so I'll just take something super simple. And there it is inserted. Now this doesn't look okay for me, but I'll change that in a minute when we get there. Now on mobile, I'm just going to use the center format right here on the right, but you can switch it to a side or a fixed. Because it's on mobile, I'm just gonna keep it just super simple. The next one down on the right-hand side says pop-up settings. You can do where it comes up immediately, or you click down the box and you can do 5 seconds, 20 seconds, scroll to middle of page. If we scroll to the middle of the page, it'll show up. If you scroll to the bottom, if the user scrolls to the bottom of the page, or if this user is acting like they're gonna exit, it'll pop up. So we're gonna do after 5 seconds. And then you're showing image is going to align right here. Is it gonna align? No, not at all. Is it gonna be at the top, the right, or the left? Because mine is on mobile, I'm just not worried about it. I'm gonna align it to the top. So here's where you can change your font, which is super cool. The other thing that you can do, and again, don't worry about the way that looks, we'll fix that in a minute, but here's where you begin to brand. If you have some of your branding colors, you could also brand in your image. It could be a picture of your product. It could be a image that you create in Canva, and it's just an image you create that says, "Hey, beautiful, want to join the party," and it's a dancing, a cocktail girl, something like that. But anyway, here's where you change your text colors, field label. So between field label and button style, this all has to do with field label. Scrolling down between button style till the next gray area, which is way down here, everything in here has to do with your button style. So keep that in mind as you're in each section. It has to only do with that section. So we're going to use the Arial font, but you can certainly click down and see what other fonts that they offer. Text color. So I've pulled up my brand palette already. Here's my brand palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to brand everything to my colors. And the reason I'm showing you is because you can do it too and make it super happy. So my text color, I think I'm gonna go with this blue, the dark blue. So in here, I go right down here. I double clicked. So I'm gonna double click in there and then go down here to the hex code. And I am going to put in the dark blue down here, my dark blue hex code, which is over here on the right. And my dark blue hex code is a 445B84, and I'm going to tab, and that should change my text color on my mobile. Take a look at that. So I'm just gonna make that big so that you can see on the email address, it changed that. The text box, so I'm gonna go down here to the button style on the right. And my text box, right now, it currently says subscribe. I'm gonna say join now with an exclamation point, and it changed that. Do I wanna change the text color? I think so. I think I'm gonna change it over to my brown right here. So I'm gonna double click. I'm gonna go down into or single click, I'm gonna go down into the hex box, and I'm gonna put in the hex code from this tan color. So D2A479 and tab, and that will change my green or my white to a now tan. So I want to change, we're still in button style area, so everything is about the button style. I want to change the background color of my button style. So I think I'm going to change my background color to this dark blue again. So that was up here. Let's see. Let me just move this over. So I'm going to change my background color to the dark blue, which is 445B84 tab. And that has now changed that. So I don't like the way this tan looks, so I think I'm going to go back to white. So I'm going to go right back up here to where it shows the tan on the right-hand side. It says text color tan, and I got my tan color. I'm just going to change that back to the white. And it's set now like that. Okay, and then the hover color, right now it's a gray. The hover color of the button style is a gray. So maybe that I want to make a brown. So let's do the brown as a hover style. So we click in there, we go down to the hex code, and we go D2A479 tab, and that's it. So now let's hover over the button, and it changed it to the tan. So now they know. Okay, so then next thing we're going to do is we're still in the button style. Do we want this aligned on the, and I'm down here on the right, do we want this aligned to the left? Do we want it centered, or do we want it right? So I'm going to click so you can see the right side. Click so you can see the center. But what if I want to go full width, which is right underneath, you check the box. And now you have it full width. Now when we hover, it turns brown. And then going lower, the pop-up style on the right side, the pop-up style, what we're doing there is it's 65% opacity, which means it's talking about how much you can see through it or not see through it. 100% means you won't be see through it at all. So we dropped it down to 65, so you'll be able to see through it just a little bit to see on the website what's behind there, that pop-up, so they can still see that there's a website. Okay, so we're gonna leave that. So let's scroll back up to the top, and if you look at these, the next category or the next tab is fields. So we'll be able to change the subscribe to mailing list over here or in the content. So let's go over to field. And oh, these are the things that we want to collect. So the fields that we want to collect, their email address is required. We can do first name and last name. You've got to just decide what you want because people don't want to fill out something if it's not worth the value. So if you're wanting addresses, you better be giving them something of more value or like something that's going to actually be shipped to them or something like that. Company name. So the more questions you're asking them, then the more value they need to have for giving you that information. So I'm going to do email address, first name, last name. Now, and you can see that it populated right here. And then I'll show you what the desktop looks like. There's the desktop version. And we'll go back to the mobile. So over here on the right, let's go to the next tab, which is content. And I'm not making, if you want to make the first name required and the last name required, all you have to do is click those buttons so that they make them all required. Or not, it's up to you. If you don't think what you're giving is valuable enough for them, don't worry about it, and don't make them required. Then our next tab is our content. So here's where you can change this logo. You can actually replace it if you want now. You can put a product in there. You could put another logo in there. You could, just put text in there, but you'll have to make it an image of some sort. So a JPEG or PNG file, you can do that in Canva. If you already have one, drop it in there. You can replace, you can edit. So you can edit if you want, and I clicked edit, so I can use all of these things and edit. I'm not going to do that right now, but what I am going to do is show you one thing. So down here, and remember from block to block, everything in this group, we're dealing with image. So right here it says edge to edge image. I'm going to uncheck that and see what happens to my image. So it drops down so that you can actually see it now. So I'm going to take off that edge to edge, but yours may be smaller, so you might want to make it edge to edge. Mine was larger. Okay, so here's where we can change this. Subscribe to our mailing list. And I'm going to change this to wanna get the inside info. Or you can put in here join now for a discount on your next course. Okay, so I'm going to do a discount. When you're doing discounts, you can program those into your Shopify, and that way, when they're on your site, they can use your discount. that's where you would put it, because in your success message down here, you can give them their code. So if I were doing that, and I'm going to walk it through so that you know, but then we'll go back and change it for those that are not using a discount code. So if I was going to use a discount code, join now for a discount on your next course, then I would go down here in the thank you for subscribing. You could say thank you for subscribing, and your discount code is Happy Day 40. And oopsies. And then you could go back up here and go your 40%. You get 40% off your next course using this code. And I'm just going to go here using this code, Happy Day. Now we're going to go in here, and I'll go back to that in just a minute, but let's go back up here, and we're back in the body, but I want to change this text to my blue, or do I want to change it to the green? I think let's change it to the green just for fun. And so you go back to your body. I'm going to click this, and I'm going to double click on my text. I'm going to go up to the A with the underline underneath it, and I'm going to go more colors, and I'm going to go and put in my hex code right down here in this last box. So it is 7E8551, and that's going to be my code. So now it's green over here if you look at the mobile look. If I want to do a footer over here on the right, if I want to do a footer, I'm going to type my footer in there and go oh yeah, we're going to send you cool tips on how to deal with solve issues in the workplace. Oh yeah, we're going to send you cool tips on how to solve issues in the workplace. So now if you look at the view and you scroll down, there it is. Oh yeah, we're going to send you. And then what you can do, I'm going to highlight it because I want to color it to my brand colors. Go down here in the last box, and I'm going to do 7E8551. And now it's going to be branded to my green. It's not very exciting, but you can definitely make yours very exciting. So, and then down here on the right, I'm going to go back now, and I'm going to, this is my thank you, this is where my code is, and I'm going to make that all a green as well. I can't remember my color green. So I'm going to go back up. I highlighted my text. I'm going to go back to the A and underlined and more colors, and then go to the last box, 7E8551, I believe. There it is. And I might even do this one in the red so that they know. So that they know the discount code is separate. So I'm going to highlight just the discount code, and I'm going to go up here to the A underline, and I'm going to go to more colors, and I'm going to put in my color for my plumish, I don't know what color that, plum, I think, 85456D. There it is. So now In the thank you, in the preview, it says thank you for subscribing, or let's do thank you for joining. You get 40% off your next course using this code. Dun, dun, dun. And so now let's go back up to the way it looks. Now it's all branded to my colors. It's branded to my image. Everything is branded. Looks beautiful. Our hover color is there. And that's how easy it is. So if you don't want to do, and then what I have to do is I have to go into Shopify and make sure that my Shopify has this discount code of Happy Day 40. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to really quickly, because all my tabs are open up here at the top. If you look at the top of my feed, all my tabs are open right here. So what I can do is I'm going to show you how to do the discount code really quick. I'm back in my Shopify where we started originally. I'm going to go over here to discounts, and it didn't do it. I got to click the discounts on the left-hand side, and you create a discount right there. And I'm going to do the discount code. What was it? Happy Day 40. That's the discount code. We're doing that was 40% off, remember? So we're doing a percentage. You can do a fixed amount, free shipping. You go in here, and I'm going to do a discount value of 40%. And applies to entire order. You can do specific collection. You can do a specific product. So your collections might be t-shirts or dresses. Your collection might be baby toys. But a product might be a specific shirt, or a specific shirt and all its sizes. It might be a specific dress style that you're showing, and you have it in 3 different styles. So that's where you would put that. Minimum requirement, is there any minimum requirement, or do they just get a 40% discount? You can do a minimum purchase amount. You can do a minimum quantity of items. Is it available for everyone, a specific group of customers, or specific customers? Do everyone to begin with, so that way you're not worried about, this is not like high, crazy level of programming. And then can they get under usage limits? Can they limit one time? This discount can be used in total, or limit to 1 use per customer. And if you just click on those, it's going to tell you you're going to have to put that in. So limit to 1 use per customer, limit to 10 times. This discount can be used in total. So we only have 10 available. You're only going to be able to get 10. So the first 10 people, that kind of thing. So it can be a start date right here, and you can have no end date, and that's what you're going to do. Or you can set an end date for 48 hours from now and set it at 11:59 in 48 hours. And then you can always go over about 6 hours, and then that way anybody that came in late and said, oh shoot, it's been an hour, maybe I can still get that discount, they can still get that. And then that just saves you on customer service stuff. And then you just click save up here in the top right, and your discount code is created. Now anytime that they use that discount code, it is done on this website, and that's how easy it is to make that discount code. So now let's go back to our list, and now we've designed that. Down here at the bottom right, I'm just going to show you. Down here at the bottom right, it says publish, and you're going to click publish, just like that. This will add the pop-up form to your site. You can always return to this page and make changes to your form. And so I'm going to click publish. Bum, ba-rum, ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Okay, so now that is in MailChimp. So let's go over here. Sometimes it takes a little bit to populate. And I called and talked to them, and they just, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You just have to give it a shot and see what's going to happen. You might have to delete your cookies and to see if it's going to actually populate. So, TikTok, TikTok. And then, so I'm going to go over here to my history. I'm going to go to my full history. And I'm just going to see if I can get it to populate while we're sitting here. If not, it does populate. If you need to check that, if it's populating, you can, I'm going to clear my browsing history so that I can go in there and see if it will populate for us. So I'm just going to clear out my browsing history. This is just a housekeeping item, nothing that you guys need to worry about. You don't necessarily need to do this. The way you can do it is you can log on with the 24-hour chat and ask them to check and see if they see a pop-up box when they go there. And when I've done this in the past, that's what's happened when it hasn't populated on my end. It might take, sometimes it shows up the next day. So I'm going to just delete, clear my browsing history on my own computer. So it'll just take a minute. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like playing the Jeopardy. There it is. No, it didn't want to hear me do that. So we're going to go ahead and get out of that. And let's see if I can populate it now. National Mediation Center. So as I was saying, the way you can do it is you can go into the 24-hour chat, 24/7 chat in Shopify, ask them if they'll look it up, you know, if they can see a pop-up form because you're not seeing it pop up. If not, you can go to MailChimp and do the same thing. The thing with MailChimp to get their live support is that it has to be a paid service and not a free one. And this one is the free one that we're doing right now. So just as an FYI, if you want to get the MailChimp, they do have tutorials. They have their troubleshooting, their help file where you can go ahead and do it by search. But this is, if you need their chat support, you need to be a paid subscriber in MailChimp. Those two things should help you, and it's not populating, dang it. But I know that I've already checked it, and I know that it is showing up. It may be showing up for you guys too. But that's how you get that done there. And so now you have your pop-up form. It will automatically drop into your list in MailChimp, and you'll see that begin to change. And then, oh, this is our email. And then what you can do is if you go back into your reload. If you go back into your MailChimp, and remember you can get there through Shopify. If you go back into your MailChimp, you can create your email right here. And it just goes, you know, what do you want to create? Oh, so let me just put in the password. Okay, so because I've been off too long. So you can create your email, you can create an ad, you can create a landing page, postcard, and sign up form. So depending upon what you have going, you may do something where it's a PDF download, you can do that. You know, sign up here. You can create any kind of your email campaigns there. And if you want to just create a campaign, you go over here to the top left and you click campaigns. What kind of campaign do you want to run? So no campaigns yet, but you can create your campaign right here. And your campaign could be, it could be just a one-time thing where you're going to give them, hey, here's some of our products that are going on. And then 3 days later, you're going to do something else. And that's where you do this, is in the campaign. So there are plenty of helps to be able to help you through that, but that will get you getting your subscribers into your list right here. I'm just going back here and checking that. That's so irritating when they never do that, but it never seems to work for me. It usually takes about 24 hours to populate. But so there's your National Mediation Center. It's all finished, and everybody will drop into this. Now, let me go take you back to, you can create all your abandoned cart emails, your product retargeting, your order notifications right here in MailChimp. If you do not choose to do that, there is over here in the bottom left of the Shopify store, you can do the same similar things, and it just depends on what you want to use and how you want to use it. So you can do the same thing, but this is on Shopify. I need to get into Shopify. There it is. Okay, so in your settings on the bottom left, okay, so we're in settings on the bottom left. If you go to the center column under notifications, these are all your notifications. So if somebody does an order and they canceled, here's something that you can do. Order refund, here's what you can do. Draft order invoice, you can do. You can make them all customized. Abandoned checkout, so send to the customer if they leave checkout before they buy. So you can actually send something to them. Fulfill requests, shipping confirmations. Just go through here and you can set up all your settings to be able to give you all of that information. New orders. So it's just super great that Shopify, and that's why Shopify is just super wonderful for online retailers, because it just provides you everything. So if you did not do that in your MailChimp, it's still available through Shopify. And so I'm just taking you back to where you can find, you go back to the apps, and then you can find your MailChimp, and then you click on MailChimp and it gives you all of the stuff right there. And there you have it. I hope that helps. It was long, but it's nothing but juice and meat right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop recording.